Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are here at Provo, Utah for the 23rd race of the season after today. 3 more races remain until the chase starts. I cannot believe we've gotten this close already. Yas Marina, Darlington Armory, Digital after today are all that remains. It's the second race in a 3-race road course skid. We went to New York last week where Seth Cole got his first victory of the season. However, Seth Cole starts 42nd place today. Very bad qualifying lap for that team, so they will have their work cut out for them, avoiding all the mayhem in front. This is the first of 2 races on the road courses where we will have a standing start. As you can see, the drivers all lined up right in front of the start-finish line. This is the only road course aside from Yas Marina where this can happen. And if things go well, we could see this track and Yas Marina come back next season. But so a lot of time can be gained here right on the start, considering what there is to expect. Now this is a 1.8 mile track. It takes about a minute to get around the circuit, a little over a minute. So we should see when the race that'll probably take an hour. And hopefully we'll be able to watch it from start to finish. But let's go to your starting lineup. On the pole was Philip Goldberg. Second place, Zach Rogers, looking to get another good run at another road course. Dylan Young, third. Diego Yepes, fourth, looking for another good run. Alexander Rowe, fifth. Philip Parker, sixth. Charles Sanford, seventh, after a bad race last week at the Glen, with Alex Ferranti in eighth. Ninth place, DJ Curtis. 10th place, Emmanuel Hartnett. As mentioned, the 42 of Seth Cole is starting in last place now, coming into the points here today. Zachary Fitzwater Sr. remains 33rd in points. The other winners kind of close to the bottom half of the top 30. Quentin Moore, 26 in points. Austin Alves, 25th. Zach Flickinger is 23rd. Those are the only 3 really in danger right now that are outside the top 20. The next one up is Alex Gray, 13th in points. Every other race winner is top 10 in the point standings. Andrew Rich has a 23-point lead over Deanna Jones. Gardner, 45 back. Yepes, 87 back. And Cole Deaver, 95 back, as Seth Cole maintains 6 points. And now we're about to go trackside for the command of fire engines. And 10 seconds later, we will go green.
Drivers, start your engines!
And the green flag is out. Here we go. And Alexander Rowe with a huge jump. Rowe got a very good start. And he moved straight from 5th to 3rd in no time. Start of this race is everything. You see Hartnett, Ferranti making up some ground. Philip Parker did not get a good jump. These are the first few laps where we could possibly see some incidents. 3 wide in the back there with Deanna Jones. So far, so good. Looks like a clean first lap here in Provo. He'll hit the start-finish line. Philip Goldberg will lead the first lap of the day. There's Samet Oskin running 18th, trying to gain some more positions. As you can see, it gets a little crazy here at this racetrack, what with the elevation changes, the inclines and all that stuff. But Oskin doing a good job starting mid-pack, looking to make his way towards the front. Oskin ended up having to pit with about 4 or 5 to go last week at Watkins Glen. Ended up finishing outside the top 20. Oskin will try and make his way up through the field. TJ Curtis was another driver who had to pit and could not make it, but he was the highest of those that did end up pitting. Let's see what the 42 of Seth Cole is doing. And he has made a ton of ground up already after starting in 42nd place. So Seth Cole not wasting any time. Let's see, after 2 laps, he has made his way up from 42nd all the way to 34th. So Cole definitely on the move. Definitely not a driver to be forgotten. We could see Seth very well finish inside the top 30. Back up to the front, Alexander Rowe has found himself into 2nd place as he's trying to track down Philip Goldberg for the race lead. Goldberg coming into today, 30th in the point standings. A win would be very good for them. Alexander Rowe, however, 41st in the points. At this point, just trying to get a win and hopefully get a good string of consistency, work their way into the top 30. If not, at least they'll break their winless streak, because Rowe has not won since Atlanta of 2017. And Rowe definitely a lot faster than Philip Goldberg, really tracking down this 18 car here at this racetrack. Only 3 laps in. Last time by a whole 5/10 faster than Goldberg. Rowe with the fastest lap of the day. He could very well be the man to win the race here today. He's all over the back end of the 18 machine. So far, no incidents. Everyone's all still close together. So Zach Rogers and Diego Yepes again having another good day. They're both in the top 5. Rogers, despite his 3rd place finish, didn't go anywhere in the point standings. I'm sure the 19 machine would love to get some strings of finishes coming off here. But as we look at the point standings, 30th in points, Philip Goldberg has 501, Rogers at 456. So that is the difference. Drivers who have been the most consistent all season long, hands down, have been Johnny Garner, Deanna Jones, and Andrew Rich. So Rowe still trying his best to work on Philip Goldberg. Zach Rogers is trying to work his way towards the 18 and the 41. As we mentioned, Yepes 4th, Dylan Young in 5th. Ferranti, Sanford, Arndt, Hartnett, and Parker. That's the top 10 here so far, as we're about to finish lap number 5. Hoffman all over the bumper of the 6 machine, looking for that top 10 position. So that's your top 10 right now. Everyone kind of just running in a line. Rowe continuing to inch towards Goldberg. He has not been able to make a pass. He's all over the bumper of Philip Goldberg. When they get to the start-finish line, we'll ride on board a lap inside the cockpit of the 41 machine. And that will give you a little bit of an idea how much work this racetrack actually is. Oh, he's looking to the right. Alexander Rowe on the right side of Philip Goldberg. To the cockpit camera we go. He's trying to get a run to the outside of Philip Goldberg. He's definitely outbraking him. This is going to let Zach Rogers and the others really catch up. This just gives you a very good angle of what this racetrack is like. So Rowe made an attempt for the move. He's definitely going a lot faster than the 18 of Philip Goldberg, but he's just been unable to make a good move. This is a little tight section here. Quick little S's. bit of a winding left-hander, which eventually gets really tight right there. Pit road right here off of this right-hand corner into another left-hander. And that is the racetrack. From the spectator camera we go. So Rowe tried to make a move on the outside. It didn't quite work. Rogers gained about a 10th there. And let's see if we can find how Seth Cole's been doing here today. Actually fallen back now to 37th. So while the field was bunched up, apparently it was a lot easier. But now things have gotten not so great. And Alex Gray in 42nd place, not what he wants, coming off a bad race last week. And Gray will have to hope his pit crew can give him something here, because this is really going to put them down in the point standings. With such few races remaining, you do not want to be outside the top 30 with a win. Speaking of drivers like that, let's check on the status of Fitzwater Sr. Not doing a whole lot better, only 36th place. So Fitzwater definitely having his work cut out for him to try and improve something here. Now, depending when these drivers pit, could mean a lot of things. No driver has been close to Rowe's fastest lap of the day. Zach Rogers second on the times, Arndt third, Hanley fourth, and Goldberg fifth. Speaking of the 47, I do not see him in the top 10. Hanley in 23rd with one of the fastest lap times of the race. But everyone is pretty much single file. That's the status of the race right now. And Alexander Rowe has finally completed his pass on Philip Goldberg for the race lead, and now we'll see if the 41 car can pull away. On lap 9, the pass has been made. Alexander Rowe to the race lead. And already he begins to gap the 18 of Goldberg. Nothing really going on here in the top 10. Hoffman made it by Philip Parker at some point. John Arndt running in 8th place. Let's talk about the 48 machine. Arndt sitting pretty well in the points, 14th in the point standings. They're one of the top contenders to make it in on points. Speaking of the points scenario, coming into today with 12 winners in the top 30. Your top 4 drivers in the points are Michael Amato, Peter Sands, Cody Hagan, and TJ Hanley. The first drivers outside of that without wins include John Arndt, Tony Green, Caleb Hoffman, Eli Bright, Charles Jackson, Kev Shearer, and William Brock. Those are the winner. Those are the non-winners inside the top 20 in points. And as we saw, I believe the 24 of Amato is not doing so well, and he's right here as TJ Hanley looks to take 22nd place on Michael Amato. Here's Cody Hagan right in front of them in 21st. See, the other drivers mentioned were Sands and Hanley. As we've said, Sands is doing very bad. He is in 41st place. So a lot of the top guys in points not doing so hot today. That will certainly help the drivers we mentioned out. The first one out is John Arndt, as we know he is in the top 10. Hoffman also in the top 10. Now we find Green, Bright, and Jackson. Tony Green also not doing too great, so nothing really gaining for him. Jackson's right behind him in 40th, so these two are not going to gain anything today. As for the 37 of Eli Bright, also not looking too good, only in 29th place. So Arndt and Hoffman will definitely capitalize big time here, being two of the drivers outside on points that will probably try and make their way up, especially considering right now Alexander Rowe is in position to win this race. Kev Shearer and William Brock. As we know, Brock had a bad day yesterday. Last weekend. He's having another one today. 31st place for the 21. Kev Shearer not too much better in 25th. Deanna Jones sits 26th. As we noticed, Andrew Rich sitting 38th. So 2 of the top drivers on the season not faring so good, especially considering Jones won 2 road course races this year. The Puco sweep it was. Meanwhile, up front, if you notice the ticker, Alexander Rowe is pulling away from Philip Goldberg and the rest of the field. This car is just on rails, a whole 4/10 faster than Goldberg and Rogers that lap. It will take a miracle for something bad to happen to the 41 machine. Rowe is just nailing this racetrack. This is something Rowe has waited for a long time. Got that win at Atlanta in 2017, and Rowe is now just finally getting ready to get his second career victory, and surprisingly not going to be coming at a speedway, but possibly here today at this road course. Rogers was inching his way towards Goldberg, but apparently they are pretty even here. Looking at the rest of the field, still really nothing going on. Hoffman giving a little pressure to the 20 of Emmanuel Hartnett. Looking at Hartnett's season so far, another driver who is probably mostly disappointed. Hartnett has yet to capitalize to get any top 5s this season, despite his 5 top 10s and 2 poles. Hartnett 32nd in the point standings. Not the run Joe Gibbs was looking for, no doubt. And there is some kind of position going on back here, as DJ Curtis has just passed Johnny Gardner for 14th. As we mentioned, Sam Oskin earlier was making his way up through the field. He sits in 16th place right now. So some drivers are slowly making their way up through the field. Pit strategy could be huge in shaking up this race now. Considering how fast Alexander Rowe is, he could honestly pit early or later. I don't think it matters. But really nothing else going on. Osborne looking for 16th on Oskin, but I think he made the move at the wrong point in the corner, and that's going to cost him a lot of time. But as we said, next week, Yas Marina, 30 laps of action at that racetrack. That'll be interesting. Another battle for position here. That's John Nunn going on 19th place to Jonathan Zorlin. Speaking of the 9-car rookie, unsure if Nunn will return to this machine next season. There is a lot of talk of shaking a ton of things up in 2019 for Bulldog Motorsports. And Nunn has not been the performer they were looking for. 34th in the point standings, 3 top 10s to show for his results on the year. John Nunn could very well be out of this team. You never know where drivers could land, though. And now Sorlin fighting right on back, and he's got help from Cody Hagan. So we'll see if any draft here helps Sorlin get by the 9, but Sorlin will definitely take 19th place back from John Nunn, and now Hagan is going to look for 20th. To the back end of the field, Deanna Jones has fallen down to 30th. No one else really making any gains or losing anything here. Gray is still right here at the back of the pack. Alexander Rowe is gone, 3 seconds on Philip Goldberg. And Zach Rogers another half second behind them. Looking at the top 10, nothing going. Hoffman has passed Emmanuel Hartnett for 9th place, so another off-screen pass. So Hoffman definitely making gains here today. 8th fastest on the board. Perhaps a lot faster than we think. So if Hoffman can make his way up even slower, you could see this 14 machine get a top 5 finish here today. We are going to take a quick break. Alexander Rowe is your race leader here in Utah. We're back here live at Provo. Go to the roof camera of Caleb Hoffman here. And pit stops are occurring. Actually, Diego Yepes down pit road. Here on lap 19. Same with Philip Goldberg and Alexander Rowe. So apparently, we're going to abort the roof camera. Zach Rogers getting to lead a lap here. Alexander Rowe, the first one down pit road. Goldberg, Yepes as well. Early pit stops for these guys here on only lap 20. So apparently, considering how long this race is, everyone will be pitting twice. Now the huge thing to notice will be this, is everyone's probably going to take 4 tires here on this pit stop. Considering it looks like they can make 20 laps on fuel, could we see them short run this run, go 10 laps and pit again, considering no cautions will come out? Or will we see people take lefts or right sides only on their second stop? Zach Rogers, the race leader, will be coming down pit road here the second time by, and this is definitely a good attempt to gain track position. And the first car to stay out another lap will be Caleb Hoffman. Hoffman's going to get a lap led, and this will give him a bonus point this team desperately needs. Now Hoffman will lose a ton of time from this. However, I'm not entirely sure, considering that the fall off is only about a second here at this racetrack, so not a lot of tire wear on this course. So pitting later might actually be more beneficial. Alexander Rowe was definitely gone when he got out of pit road though. Would be going longer this run, help you on your second pit stop. It's the big thing to see. Looks like everyone will come down here. Shearer, one of those that stayed out. Seth Cole elected to stay out. A lot of people stayed out, actually. 26 drivers electing to pit here on lap 21. Alexander Rowe still your leader by a huge margin. But Zach Rogers has actually passed Philip Goldberg on their pit stops. There's Yepes 4th in line, and Young 5th in line. Flickinger, Ferranti, Gardner, Osborne, Shelley. So we'll head back to Caleb Hoffman. There's Alexander Rowe in the distance, taking his race lead back. And we'll see where the 14 machine of Caleb Hoffman comes out of pit road. It looks like he will be at least 5th. Hoffman out of pit road right here. Flickinger's got a run from the corner. But Caleb Hoffman gaining a ton of track position with this strategy. And Hoffman is 5th place. Flickinger 6th, Young 7th, Ferranti 8th, Gardner's moved up to 9th, and Joshua Osborne into the top 10 as they are 3 wide right here. That's Shelley, McIntyre, and Hagan. DJ Hanley also in here going crazy. So this will get the racing going even more due to the differences of laps. But as you look at your scoring ticker here, Alexander Rowe retains the race lead, now with a near 5-second gap over Zach Rogers in second place. This is definitely shaking up the top 10, to say the least. Hartnett was in the top 10 before, now he's not. TJ Hanley has gained a good amount of track position. Quentin Moore has gained some track position. Fitzwater up to 22nd, Seth Cole up to 23rd. So Seth gaining a lot of time. Rich gained spots too up to 20th. Oskin dropped a lot down to 29th. Peter Sands gained. Gray gained a lot. Wow, Alex Gray was 42nd, and now he's 32nd. All these drivers back here lost a ton of time. John Arndt, oh man, all the way down to 36th. Not what this team needed at all. They were having such a great day. Same with Charles Sanford down to 38th. Deanna Jones is down to 39th. But last place is Philip Parker, a 2-minute lap time. Not sure what happened to the 6 machine, but tough break nonetheless. So Rowe continues to lead. He's not gaining a ton of time like he was before. A huge gap between him and Zach Rogers, however. Goldberg third, and Yepes in fourth with another huge gap back to 5th place, Caleb Hoffman. Gardner is actually 8th now, as Alex Ferranti is falling down to 10th place. So Gardner, though, getting into the top 10. He's probably trying to get into that points lead. Deanna Jones is way down. Andrew Rich is not doing good at all. So Gardner trying to be the points leader coming in. It doesn't give you anything extra special, but it would be cool for Gardner, I think, to be known as the regular season champion, considering they were outside the top 10 in points at the start of the chase last season. Gardner definitely wanting to be one of the top 3 favorites. No luck going for Zach Rogers to gain any time. He's not losing a ton of time. Hanley has a bumper full of Quentin Moore right now. Remember, Moore is one of those 3 drivers with a win who is hanging on for dear life into the top 30. Moore 26th in points. Alves 25th, Flickinger 23rd. Flickinger is up there in the top 10, so he'll get a good amount of points from this. Moore's right here in 16th. However, Alves is down in 25th, so Alves is really going to be hanging on here. These next few races, there is a huge gap from 20th to 21st. The whole field has spread out tremendously. Philip Parker all by himself in 42nd. But halfway done with the race here today in Provo. Hagan up to 13th. And a lot of drivers starting to run really fast lap times. As you can see, the top 10 has shifted a lot. Seth Cole now up to 9th fastest. James Qualls almost running a lap better than Alexander Rowe. A 27 car sitting in 24th place. So Ferranti is lagging back to Hartnett and others, so we could see someone else get into the top 10 here shortly. Meanwhile, nothing else is really going on here. Hoffman's continuing to lead this pack. Remember, Hoffman on the freshest set of rubber. And Goldberg losing time to Zach Rogers. But Rogers not gaining anything on Alexander Rowe. Just kind of chilling 5 seconds back. But another very good point stay for Zach Rogers possibly here, pending everything goes well on the second round of pit stops. Rogers got 3rd last week at Watkins Glen. Despite being last in points, he didn't gain anything from it, but it really shot him back up towards the others. Rogers really pushing himself on these road courses. He got that 1 win at Papyrus. Nothing really happened for him. at Infineon, Puco, or Surfers Paradise, but late these races right now, as I cannot talk, really been good for this 19 team. As it's been known for about a month or so now, Mountain Dew will no longer be sponsoring Sac Rogers after 2018 is over. So we'll see what happens to Rogers' team. K&N, Taco Bell probably will still be around, but that is an unknown. That is unknown as well, whether those two will return or not. Rogers has been very prominent in expressing his love for video games, and he actually took a picture, and he was wearing a Corsair headset. So unknown whether any of these companies that Rogers has bought products from could become on the race car. Rogers recently turned 21 2 months back. That could open a door to any amount of alcohol sponsorships. In fact, one of the only drivers that is sponsored by alcohol in the series is the 32 of Johnny Gardner, who runs Miller Lite and Red Apple Ale from time to time. Camping World, the primary sponsor on this machine, though, especially when coming to tracks where camping is huge. But Gardner has 2 alcohol sponsors. You never know what could happen there with the 19 machine. There's known the 77, 78, 5-hour energy on those race cars. Mountain Dew is also on the 9, the 88, and the 5. So drink sponsorships are no rarity here in this series. Red Bull on the 84 and the 83. Mountain Dew also sponsors the O2 on a rare occasion. Twisted Tea, another alcohol sponsor, that's on the 43 machine. Jack Daniels sponsors the 53, a teammate to Sac Rogers. So perhaps a possible chance there. And then we have Busch Beer on the 4. How could I forget that? Coca-Cola sponsorship of the 03. That is it. Nothing really going on right now. Ferranti got passed by Hartnett apparently this lap for 10th place. So Hartnett moving back into the top 10, the peak antifreeze 20 car with 20 laps to go. So Ferranti definitely on a backtrack as Cody Hagan will pass Matthew McIntyre for 12th place. Nothing really going on. Everyone's just kind of running their lines. We'll see if the drivers who stayed out the longest gain more positions. Seth Cole, we know, was 37th, and he made up 14 spots on pit road alone. But Alexander Rowe continues to lead here. We're going to take another break, and we'll be back for the conclusion of the race. Back in Provo, Utah, where Alexander Rowe continues to lead 5 seconds over Sac Rogers. That margin is not increasing. However, Philip Goldberg, Diego Yepes, and others continue to lose ground on the 41. Coming to the start-finish line, it'll be 16 laps to go. And we'll see when these drivers start making their moves down pit road, they can make it from here. Unknown if short pinion would really be beneficiary or not. No changes inside the top 10 running order since we were last here. And you can see these drivers, they can see the back end of the 41 down the longest straightaway, where they hit speeds of just under 170 miles an hour. And here it is. We're going to be pitting early. Alexander Rowe, first one down pit road. This will give the race lead away to the 19 machine. Philip Goldberg will also duck down pit road. Yep is electing not to come down this time by. No sign of anyone else coming down pit road. So that gives the race lead up to Zach Rogers. Let's see what the 41 will do here on pit road. And it will be a 4-tire pit stop for Alexander Rowe. Very curious though, considering the small amount of tire wear, if we will see anyone attempt a 2-tire or no tire pit stop. And Rowe will come out right here in traffic. This could hurt his lead, because it is hard to pass here. And Jones gets to his right side, right at corner entry. Go back up to Zach Rogers. It almost looked like Rowe was about to get dumped there. Rogers down pit road, Yepes included. Caleb Hoffman will take the race lead here. Not a lot of drivers coming down right away. Nate Rogers there in the distance. Some drivers electing to go for the 4-tire strategy. See how much the traffic hurts Alexander Rowe. Not a lot. There he is, boom. Back in front of the 19 of Rogers. Rogers will come out of pit road with no traffic to worry about. We go back to the race leader of Caleb Hoffman. Will these drivers attempt to take rights or lefts only? Hoffman is leading a ton of drivers down pit road, but some more are going to stay out yet again as they come around the last corner. Matthew McIntyre and Alex Ferranti, John Nunn, Cole Deaver, those 4 elected to stay out. Charles Jackson, Peter Sands, Tony Green also staying on the racetrack. But it will be a 4-tire pit stop for Caleb Hoffman. There's Rowe. There's Zach Rogers. Hoffman right in front of Zach Flickinger on pit road. So we're not seeing any strategy play at all here. We'll see if McIntyre tries and take a strategy here. You know, these are 4 rookies right here that have elected to stay out another lap. Ferranti's going to go in even another one. So Ferranti staying out another lap to get a lap lead. We'll see what this strategy does for him. It's definitely not going to get you a win when you're 12 seconds back on the racetrack from the race leader originally. Charles Jackson also stays out, as does Charles Sanford, but Sanford is not going to gain anything with Rowe right on his bumper. But still, 4-tire pit stops here for these drivers. Ferranti in the race lead. drivers decided to pit earlier than others. But the 8811 and the 03 still yet to make their pit stops. And here comes Ferranti down. This time he'll relinquish the race lead. Does the 11 of Charles Jackson come down too? No, Charles Jackson's going to stay out again. So now we head back to Charles Sanford. Sanford also staying out on the racetrack. So these two drivers have gone the longest without pitting. Rowe continues to have a 4-second lead over Rogers, so he lost a little bit of time coming out of pit road in the traffic. Sanford 8 seconds behind. Jackson barely leads that lap over Ferranti. No doubt nothing gaining for those guys with where Rowe is on the racetrack, and Rowe has just completely dominated this race today. Moving forward to the 11 machine of Jackson. And he is coming down this time by Sanford also going to make his move. This will cycle Alexander Rowe back into the race lead, but let's see if Jackson's taking 2 tires or not. Right side's confirmed. Nope, it's a 4-tire pit stop, so kind of boggled there on why those drivers bothered staying out. Everyone ends up taking 4 tires, but one of the longest cycles I've ever seen on a road course. 6 laps, 5 or 6 laps in total. But with 10 laps to go, Rowe back in the lead. Rogers has been gaining some time, sitting in 2nd place. Yepes moved up to 3rd on the cycle. Goldberg back down the 4th now. Or down the 4th now, not back down the 4th. Zach Flickinger has moved up to 5th. Kaufman's down to 6th place. Gardner 7th. Osborne 8th. 9th is Cody Hagan, and 10th is Matthew McIntyre, one of the guys that stayed out a really long time. So McIntyre nearly guaranteed a top 10 here. Dylan Young has now fallen outside the top 10, as Seth Cole has moved up to 18th. Fitzwater up to 17th. That may not be completely accurate, as Sanford did hit the start-finish line in 7th, but Seth Cole gaining a ton of track position here today at Provo. Nobody out of the race. We'll see where the 11 and the 03 ended up. Jackson 29th on the racetrack. Sanford in 34th. Not sure if they were running any worse or any better. Hartnett fell to 35th, so a bad pit stop for the 20 machine. He was 10th. Unbelievable how a lot of these drivers fell so far back. Amato has made a move for 38th on Zorlin. But Rowe still in the lead. Rogers continuing to track down the 41 machine. Just don't think there's enough time for Rogers to gain all that ground. But pure domination by Alexander Rowe. Zach Flickinger, though we mentioned, one of those winners who needed a good finish, will come away with one here today. Quentin Moore was another we were talking about. He has fallen down back to 28, so Moore will not get what he wanted. But Alves has moved up to 18th. Fitzwater 16th place, so Fitzwater could gain a little something here out of this race. At 51 minutes on for here at Provo, as I cannot English today. Rogers continuing to close the gap. I'm very surprised. Down to 3 seconds. He's not the only one gaining time. Flickinger ran a 101.2. Wow. Everybody is faster than Alexander Rowe. Rowe ran an 8 last time by. Everyone is at least 3/10 faster except for James Qualls. That is insane. Everyone's pushing it as hard as they can. You see McIntyre ran a really fast lap last time by a 3:04. Rogers down under 3 seconds now with 6 to go. And Cole Deaver ran a 101.0. So Deaver with the fastest lap on the race. Ferranti just ran a 1:42 in 13th. How about that? Everyone, though, up here is pretty much spaced out. Flickinger is giving Goldberg a little trouble for 4th place, and I wouldn't blame him in the least. 4th place receives an extra 2 points more than 5th. And wow, Flickinger's really driving it hard here on Goldberg. He wants those 2 points. We're going to hit 5 to go. And we're going to watch our scoring monitor again. 2.8 last time by. Down to 2.6, so another 2/10. That pace will not get Rogers anywhere close to Alexander Rowe, but it will make it look like this race was a lot closer than it was. As you can see, Flickinger 3/10 faster than Goldberg. He needs to make a move on the 18 car soon. The others are not really going anywhere. Ferranti with another 101.17. Flickinger still all over the bumper of Goldberg, still driving it a little too hard, trying to set himself up. And this is letting Hoffman close in a ton of time on the 18 machine. Alexander Rowe, I'm hoping he doesn't have to do what Sam at Oskin did. Another 3/10 there for Zach Rogers with 4 to go. And if he starts getting the draft, I'm not sure if that will matter a lot. Well, let's see the speeds here. This is the longest straightaway on the racetrack. Going into this corner, Rowe about 168. Rogers is just a mile an hour faster, but Yepes is the one to be worried about. He is closing in on Zach Rogers for 2nd. And Yepes has been on a tear lately. Yepes has gone into the top 5 in points. He sits 4th, 42 behind Johnny Gardner. But this rookie right here, Diego Yepes, could be a threat for the title. Rowe continuing the lead, another 3/10. Gained by Zach Rogers at 3 to go, 2-second lead now. Yepes gaining another 2/10 on Rogers. Flickinger still doing everything he can to try and get by Philip Goldberg. He's peeking to the right. Just no luck for Flickinger. This has let Hoffman close the gap. The battle for 4th could be on here shortly. Gardner, Osborne also closing in extremely fast. Ferranti continuing to run 101.1s, really closing in on Cole Deaver and John Nunn. The real battle's right here. 2 to go at the start-finish line. We'll see what the scoring pylon tells us this lap for Zach Rogers' distance. Another 3/10. I just think it's going to be too little too late. Flickinger all on the back bumper of Goldberg for fourth. Hoffman's now here too. He's going to be looking for that top 5. As we'll hit the white flag this time by. Almost wish this was the battle for the lead right here. Another 3/10 by Zach Rogers. It's just not going to be close enough though. He can see the 41 very clearly now. Just not enough laps. Alexander Rowe has dominated this event, leading what I believe is around 40 laps. The last few corners, Rogers closing the gap. Excuse me, just no time. But the drought will be broken for Alexander Rowe. It has been over 50 races. Checkered flag waves. Alexander Rowe wins in Provo, Utah. Rogers gained another 4/10 that lap. Just think, if there were another 3 laps, there could have been a different winner, but Rogers with another great day, 2 weeks in a row now. And if he goes in a countdown order, we could see him win next week at Yas Marina. Diego Yepes coming home today in 3rd. Philip Goldberg holds on for 4th. Flickinger 5th. Hoffman 6th. Gardner 7th. Osborne 8th. Cody Hagan 9th. And Matthew McIntyre will finish the day in 10th place. Hope you guys enjoyed the race here today in Provo. It was a pretty good race. Kind of looking to maybe put this race on the schedule in 2019. So we'll see what happens. But thank you for this race, and I will see you guys next week at Yas Marina.